Hey everyone, Leslie here. As promised, I've been doing a little research about identifying my niche for my Etsy shop. I came across some really good videos here on YouTube on this very topic, and I will be sharing those in my description, so be sure and check those out. As part of this exploration, I'm doing a short presentation here on this topic to kind of get your brain going. I really want to encourage you to research this topic on your own and make your own decisions on how and why it's important to develop a niche in your Etsy shop. So one of the first things that I looked into was the proper pronunciation of the word niche or niche, because I've heard it said both ways. I looked at several different resources, and it turns out that both ways of pronunciation are correct. The niche is the more American version and how we say it typically in America, and niche is a little more European, but both of those pronunciations are correct. So after all my research, I have come up with this as my definition of niche. It means to me identifying a smaller part of a market within a larger market to stand out in the crowd. Standing out is what we want on Etsy, right? The market's so saturated in some areas that if we don't stand out, we can't get found, and then no one can find our items and hence no sales. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say that you sell socks. How do you find people to buy those socks? Most of us wear socks. If you search for socks, like on Google, you get over 1 billion results. And so the whole objective of us finding our niche is to find what's different and special about our particular socks, and then find the people within this huge group that would like that particular feature the most, and then marketing to them. So let me show you what this looks like when you do a search for just socks on Etsy. So I did a little search, and it brings up, look at all the number of socks that you see here. This search just goes on and on and on, as you can imagine. There's multiple pages of socks that come up when you just search for socks. So of course, you want to find your niche. What makes your socks special? What's different about your socks? So that when people search for that term, they'll be able to find yours quicker in this sea of socks. So again, you want to ask yourself these questions about your items. So in the sock example, what's so special about your socks? How are your socks different from all the rest? Who would like your socks the most? What population would like them the most? Do your socks do anything special other than the average sock? What, if anything, about your socks would appeal to special interest groups? So now let's look at this a little bit closer on Etsy. So instead of just searching for socks, let's search for socks for women. And this does narrow our search down quite a bit. Let's look at some other ways. Let's look at maybe socks that are just handmade for women. And as you can see, that decreased or narrowed down this search even more. Now let's look for socks with a dog's face on them. Maybe I want to get my dog printed on my socks. So if we look at that, there's only 363 results. All right, so now let's revisit these questions. What's so special about those socks? The socks had a dog's face on them. How are those socks different from all the rest that we were searching for? Well, they have a dog's face. You could get your dog's face put on socks. How special is that? Who would like your socks the most? Probably dog lovers or pet owners. And do your socks do anything special from other than the average sock? Well, they're customized, and people like personalized and custom gifts. And then lastly, what, if anything, about your socks would appeal to special interest groups such as dog lovers, pet lovers, and boutique shops? So what is your niche on Etsy? What exactly do you make and sell? How many different things do you make? How do you specialize in this huge saturated market? Are you using the answers to these questions to develop your niche? For me, this is going to be hard because when I take a good hard look at my shop, I make a lot of different things. All of my items are customizable or personalized and custom gifts, but that's not a very niche down market and makes it hard for people to find me. I also worry that I might get bored because I like to make a lot of different things, but I think this is where we learn the difference between being a hobby and a business. So if we want to make those sales, we're going to have to niche down. In conclusion, researching and identifying your niche on Etsy will help you stand out in a very saturated crowd. Now, I've only touched on this topic, and it's something that you should really dig into and learn about on your own. I also encourage you to look at some of the links that I posted in the description that I used to research this topic and found very helpful.